I'm really excited about this one because, one, you know, I love glow-in-the-dark, as you can see from some of the glow-in-the-dark figures I have there, some of which I've opened, some of which I've not. And because out of all of my glow-in-the-dark items, I do not own anything that is orange that glows in the dark. So this Sinthia Princess of Hell from Skybolt Toys and Lightning Comics is something that's very unique, and I believe this came out in 1997. So you can see here there's Helena, Double Impact, Creed. Actually, this one here, this isn't her, that's not her knife. Nira, you saw me open that. You also saw me open another figure, Aspen, I think it was. That was also made by the same company, Skybolt Toys with a Z. And you can see here it says hobby toys for the hobby market. So these are ones you wouldn't see at Toys R Us or KB or places like that. You would find them in comic book stores. And to give you a little bit of backstory, if you weren't around then or not collecting comics or whatever, this was sort of like the Bad Girl era, with Lady Death being certainly the number one. But there's also Ghost, Lady Rawhide, some of these people, and you know, this was definitely kind of like a C tier, I would say. You know, Lady Death again kind of being, I would say, the top one out of all of those. And you can see the artwork's not that great. Creed, I do remember being kind of popular, and I actually had some Creed comics. It was kind of cool, kind of grunge, I guess, kind of tapping into the whole grunge, you know, idea. But they're all, you know, creator owned. And I guess, you know, I don't know anything about Sinthia or Helena or any of those, so I can't really say if they were good or not, but we are here to open this up. So who is Sinthia? It says, Sinthia is the 18-year-old daughter of Lucifer. After being punished by her father for wanting to experience the forbidden emotion of love, Sinthia and her guardian demon, Morduk, defiantly leave hell together so Sinthia may begin her quest for true love on Earth. And these are scenes from Sinthia #1, October 1997 by Lightning Comics. Created by Joseph Adam, who's the writer, and drawn by Rod Perry. So, I don't know, maybe you can go find that on some of those comics on eBay or your local quarter bin. So, we are going to open this up, and obviously the reason I was attracted to this is because it glows in the dark, but it's also orange. So, this is the Hell Glow Sinthia. And I'm really excited to see how well it glows, because I don't know anything about that aspect of kind of the sort of chemical aspect of making toys, and how different elements and things like that affect color and all that. So it'll be really interesting to find out if this glows as well as your traditional kind of like greenish, yellowish, clear, white kind of glow-in-the-dark toys. So, but first, let's see what's going on with this. So she has a sword and a sheath. You can see the bubbles very yellowed. And this was faded, so obviously this probably sat like in a window or somewhere where the light, UV light, really hit it pretty bad. Alright, so there's that. And I guess it goes here kind of on her belt. Maybe. Now, obviously, one of the things and kind of one of the criticisms of these is just the ridiculousness of the outfits. So you can see there, she just, and the proportions. I mean, it's very, you know, Rob Liefeld, everybody kind of makes fun of him for some of the ridiculous proportions. But her legs are, I mean, almost twice as big as the rest of her body. So that's kind of ridiculous. She has some kind of spike gauntlet, and her flippy hair mold is kind of interesting. So let's see. Let's get this back on here. And this is something you might find at like a flea market for $5. You know, nobody's really clamoring for some Sinthia action figures. But, you know, I will say, and I'm being a little facetious with some of this, you know, kudos to the creator-owned comics that the creators who were making some of these creator-owned comics. You know, I mean, surely some of them had fans if they're making toys and making comics of them. So, you know, I've never had any comics published by a you know, kind of somewhat major comic company, and I've certainly not had any toys made based off anything that I've ever created. So, you know, who am I? But there she is. Now let's journey over to the Vintage Toy Freedom walk-in closet and see how well Sinthia lights up. Okay, so we're here in the Vintage Toy Freedom walk-in closet with some other toys. You can see some of them that are not going to be part of the Vintage Toy Freedom series ever. Some maybe, I don't know. You've actually seen me open one of the Star Trek's Guinan, I don't know how you say her name. But here she is in front of the DC Superpowers Batmobile, driven by Mr. Miracle, with Plastic Man there in the passenger seat. And I'm about to hit the lights, and we'll see how well she glows. So one thing I've noticed with glow in the dark is the camera really doesn't pick it up that well. So I don't think you were really able to see it. But even then, I'm going to hit the lights one more time. Let's see if we can get it closer. It's not glowing too great. It's definitely not glowing as well as your kind of yellow, white, greenish glow in the dark. And I made sure to hold this up to the light a decent amount. Like, I'm actually in here with some other things that glow in the dark. You can see right behind her is the Indo Glow Terminator, if I can find my light switch. And even that, again, you can't really see it, but I can see it with my naked eye. Like, that's glowing pretty decent. So she doesn't glow too terribly well, but kudos to that toy company for making it an orange kind of hell glow, which I think it's kind of a cool feature because it's the idea that, you know, she's from hell or whatever. So of course it makes it a lot more interesting to make it orange glow rather than like a greenish, yellowish, whitish glow. So it would be kind of cool to have seen Toy Biz do that with some of the Ghost Rider figures, but they didn't, and you know, that's fine. So here you go, an interesting one. This is something very unique in this channel and very unique in my toy collection. This is something that's going to go on that shelf that you saw with all my glow-in-the-dark figures, and certainly a welcome addition. So thanks for watching, and as always, open your toys, play with them, and may your glow-in-the-dark toys glow bright.